You're listening to littlepodcast.com.
Don't be such a square. Everybody who's anybody drinks.
Why you gotta take it there?
Retake. This isn't gonna work.
We're not talking about any integrity.
We are trying to exploit a generation.
Ever tell you about that time when I paid for Chinese food with the DVD? The grease is the gravy.
You guys played footsie over the table.
Well, yes, but that's irrelevant. I can smell Pepto-Bismol from here. It tastes like an antacid tablet. Why are there so many Draculas everywhere? No, there's vampires everywhere.
Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 192. I'm your host, John Rowe, joined by my co-host,
Adam Hammp.
That's right. We're back again. It's a late night Saturday night. It's reminiscent
Yeah.
of the classic times.
Yeah, it is.
Adam has secured some time in his busy schedule to record a podcast.
Yep.
He waited till the very last minutes of the week to do it. Do you work tomorrow? Do you still work Sundays?
Yeah.
Ha! That's weird.
Yeah, I know, it sucks.
Why do they need people on Sundays?
They don't.
School's not open.
They don't, and I hate them for it. It's so weird. When we...
I don't. I hate them for it, and wish they would die.
Yeah.
All right.
There was like a merger where they merged several of our departments.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the big things that come out of it was like, oh, we've got people and stuff. Let's make us this 24/7 so we can say that we're 24/7.
Ah.
So we're 24/7, and we don't need to be. There is no kind of volume to justify paying people to be there 24/7.
Do you know what'd be better?
And we are understaffed during the week because of it, and it is causing problems.
Do you know what? Do you know what would be? Adam, I got a cost-effective solution.
Yeah?
Do you guys have like laptops that you use for work?
Nope.
So wow, okay, interesting choice.
We have desktops.
Good, I guess. Well, I used to have a desktop, and then we switched over to laptops, and it's a world of difference.
Yeah.
Because you can take it anywhere you need it, which
Yeah,
is really helpful.
Yeah, it's awesome. They were talking about like worker retention because I guess people are fleeing.
Yeah, because of the bad decisions.
Because of various things.
Yep.
And they came up with a couple different things, one of which is a compressed schedule.
Okay.
Which means that basically, you can work like 10 hours, So.
Yeah, 4 10-hour days. Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Although theirs are actually a lot weirder. They gave like 2 or 3 different options, most of which were bizarre and terrible. They said if we could use one, it'd only be a 4.5 one. So it's like you stay an extra hour on 4 of the days, and you get a half day for your 5th day.
That's like bullshit.
Yeah, it's kind
The
of
whole
like
point
bullshit.
of that is so that you don't have to come in one day.
I know.
Whatever.
But this will let you leave early one day. And the other thing was like you get to pick one day a week that you can stay home and work from home.
Yeah.
And then that was for all of like our department, and then our section or our area basically has the choice of whether to use those or not. And they said like, no, we're not giving you those guys options because your schedules are too dependent on it. We don't have enough people. We have to keep 24/7 schedule.
Yeah.
So basically, any of the stuff that makes your shitty job any better, no, sorry.
So, Adam, I got my solution for your staffing problems.
Yeah, what's that?
It's pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on weekends, how many people do you have staffed? Do you really need to have more than 1 or 2 people there?
We only have like 1 or 2 people there.
Okay, great. That's good. Now, how about those 1 or 2 people are on call from home on a VPN machine that they can use to get access to the network?
That's the way it kind of was.
That's the way it works at every other IT
I know.
corporate thing for the weekends. Is you got one guy as the on-call guy who takes the laptop home, and if somebody has a problem on the weekends, they get you, and you get paid, whatever, like halftime or whatever for being on call, and then when you take a call, you get paid, whatever, a half hour of full-time pay. And it rotates between people.
Yeah.
That would be smart, but
That's the way it actually was when I signed up for my job. When I applied for the job and stuff.
yeah.
Like, well, every other weekend or something like that, you'll need to be on call for.
Oh, I remember this. I remember you being on call and stuff.
Yeah,
Right?
and then like, After they merged everything, they went 24/7, and that became not a thing. So.
Why be efficient with the
Yeah.
government's money?
Right.
Whatever. Oh shit, Adam. What are you up to? What are you drinking? You got a podcast beverage today?
I do actually. I have Coca-Cola.
Just regular Coke?
I do.
No specials?
No, not this time.
No cheer wine?
No.
You can get Surge in stores now, I see.
Yeah.
You no longer need to order it off Amazon.
Yeah, they actually have it some at the Freedom the other day. I grabbed a can.
Yeah, why not? They have it at the gas station near my work, and everyone's like, "Oh my god," because it's like $1 a can for the tall boy. Yeah, and then it turns out Surge is like, "Yeah, it's all right. It's not that great. It's like slightly tastier Mountain Dew,
Yeah.
but not really." You and me, we're more of cola people, right?
It depends. Like I often will
Code Red.
I often will go towards the cola, or maybe not like a Sprite or whatever, but like like cheer wine, something cherry flavored or something.
Okay, yeah, fruit flavor.
Yeah.
Well,
Although lemon lime is cool.
yeah, I like lemon lime drinks personally. Right now, I have just polished off a can of Canada Dry Diet Ginger Ale, which is really good, actually. I like ginger ale a lot. I'm kind of a ginger ale person. Always have been, always will be. I'm about to crack... This is just riveting podcasting.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm about to crack open a Klarbrunn naturally sourced sparkling lime-flavored water. Sparkling water. I need something to keep my beautiful... throat going on. All right, what's up?
Not a lot's been going on, really. Here
Yeah,
at,
well, you were too busy to record on our regular night, so something's going on.
Actually, I was just feeling like really low key then. I was feeling tired and just kind of not great. I don't know.
Hump day? Too much?
Yeah, kind of.
Fair enough.
It was just looking like it was going to be, a low key night. So,
And you're not low key right now, Adam.
not really. I'm a little tired, maybe, but
It is
Yeah.
late.
it's kind of late for me. But I'm doing all right.
Well, Facebook has shown that you like to sleep a lot.
Oh man, I have not gotten the end of that shit. Yeah, I know. Everybody's been liking it. Everything.
Yes, Adam was, I believe, this is if you are a person who knows Adam personally, and you've spent time with Adam, you will know that when you hang out, he will just fall asleep. That's got to be healthy, right? It's got to be a healthy trait. You
It's
just
fun-
kind of nod off all the time.
Funnily enough, like a lot of people this week and weekend have been like, "You should go get that checked out, man."
You just kind of fall asleep.
It got kind of worse too because, for some reason, like this, it seems like this weekend in particular, like when I was kind of in my half fugue state.
Yeah.
There was like several times this weekend where I would just say things. Like one time I said like, "Yeah, sure, but you'll need to pass me the pen and paper so I can write down my top 10." And everybody just like turned and stared at me. And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was having a conversation that wasn't real right now." Sorry.
Wow.
Carry on.
Adam, you all right? The shift
Like-
change is affecting you.
Maybe. I wonder if that's actually partially it because
I'm sure that would only make sense.
And also, like, I'm a kind of a night owl anyway, so oftentimes I will still stay up to like midnight or 2. And get
I usually stay up till about
4
midnight.
hours. Yeah, I get like 4 hours of sleep sometimes.
4 hours?
Yeah,
How is that possible?
it is.
It doesn't seem possible to me. Like I'm a late night owl guy as well, you know.
Yeah,
But I get to bed between midnight and 1 usually, and I wake up between 7:30 to 8. So I usually get 7 hours.
Yeah.
Basically every
that sounds
night.
like a good amount of sleep to get. Yeah,
It is a good amount of sleep to get, and it's just kind of a schedule thing. It helps that Lauren My girlfriend, who I live with, sleeps that schedule. If
Yeah.
not a little earlier, so I'm just like, oh, hey, I'll go to bed.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like, it's easier when other people are on your schedule.
Yeah. Well, I know, because when I lived with you and Lance in the apartment D83 situation,
Yeah.
who is the D in apartment 83? Don't trust the okay.
The D?
No.
I don't know, man.
Don't trust the D.
I don't know.
No, when I was living there, you guys both worked late. Like, I think you both worked basically second shift. So you would both get home like 10 o'clock-ish. And I worked first shift at a software company that was, I guess, real lenient on when I would come in. So I would usually get to work at like 9:30 every day. And it was too late to start the day. And I think my work productivity seriously suffered because I would be staying up till 2 o'clock every night, basically, with you guys.
Yeah.
And then waking up at like 8:30, which is too late to wake up, and that's only like 6 hours, which is not good. It's not enough sleep.
Yeah.
So Adam, you got to get that figured out. You got to get better sleep. No screens for a half hour before you're gonna go to bed.
Fuck that.
That's a thing though. There's just lots of sleep studies that have been done that show it's just the light into your eyes that does something. Like whereas like if they actually literally did a study where they had a control people reading books and people reading like a tablet with a backlight, and the people that read books and didn't do anything fell asleep earlier than the people that read off of a tablet.
Really?
It's just something about the light, I guess, in your eyes that like makes your brain, more active. So you're just more likely to stay up, I guess.
Well, I don't ever have a problem going to sleep though. Like I can fall asleep pretty much in any scenario. That's actually my problem. My problem is that I sleep too much.
That's true. You got a rapper situation going on there?
I do.
It's coming on the mics pretty good.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Let me get.
I'm trying to see if I can find a lighter as well.
I'm trying to make a noise with the pen.
Yeah.
You got a rapper situation. I found some rappers.
Excellent.
I can fight back.
That does come across pretty well.
Yeah, it does. It was very loud in my ears.
Give me half a shake of a lamb sale.
That's fine. I will talk. Actually, I purchased these wrappers that I have. I was like, you know what time it is for me? I was like, you know what? I'm going to go on Amazon and I'm going to order some candy from some foreign countries.
You are?
Because you can. And I ordered a Kinder grab bag box.
Okay.
Kinder is a German chocolate company.
Yeah, I've heard of them, yeah.
Yeah, so
they
I've
put
got
the little toys in the chocolate, right?
No, I think that's a thing that they do. Yeah, but this
Kinder
is like
eggs,
their yeah. These are like their little minis. So this is I've got a Kinder Mini, which is like a chocolate with a little like vanilla cream in it, and a bonbon.
Oh wow!
And they're fucking amazing. And it came straight from Germany. The box says Germany. The other candy that I ordered was a candy from the Far East, because I was people were talking about these green tea Kit Kats, and I was like, I got to try these out, because I got, 2 packages of green tea Kit Kats,
Yeah.
like the little bag with like 12 mini Kit Kats in it, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 boxes of those. That was $10 total. Not bad to ship from Japan. The estimated delivery date, let's see, I ordered these on the 22nd of October. It gave me
January?
No, December 11th.
Oh wow.
Which is funny. And then the German ones also said December 11th, but I got those this week, so that was only to get Kinder chocolates from Germany, because the packaging said Germany was
See, I thought. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days. That's not bad.
No, not really.
Oh man, the Kinder Friends 34 assorted chocolates.
So now, okay. Kinder is just the company that makes chocolates. Kinder eggs are the ones that are the bad ones.
Yes.
That are because those you can't actually get in the country. They're not
Kinder
allowed. They're
eggs?
banned.
I mean, yeah, probably. Kinder eggs. Look at that.
In the U.S., kids are choking hazard.
Oh, because you're going to.
Because
just in the U.S. though, because the U.S. children are just like,
well, oh no,
egg.
Well, if you think about it, like people will go to Germany, get these Kinder eggs, and give them to people in America, and
Yeah.
American kids don't know if there's fucking toys inside of them, and they just
Yeah.
fucking eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, not so much choke as maybe they like chip a tooth on it, or
Yeah.
you know, there were issues.
Chip a tooth.
Yeah, it's like little like hard plastic
Yeah.
toys inside the chocolate eggs.
Yeah.
So if you just bite into the egg, you're gonna bite into a plastic toy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Man, that's some weird stuff going on in L.A. right now.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm up to date on.
Well, this is
going
just
on?
as of like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, really? What happened?
Seems to be a UFO.
Really?
A lot of people saw this.
Really?
Okay, here we go. It's been immediately determined. Yeah, it's just kind of a big, bright, like, spot with like kind of a triangular tail of light behind it. Mm-hmm. Like kind of like a flare or like a meteor, you know, but it's very pointy. And let's see here. The sheriff's department said light seen in the sky was confirmed to be a naval test fire of a rocket.
Okay.
So just a rocket, but apparently everyone was like, "What the shit is this giant glowy thing?" Maybe it is UFO, and they're just the government's covering up. The way it does.
Yeah.
The way they do.
The way they do, right?
I mean, yeah. Who? Screw the government. Oh my God, where were we? Oh, about candy.
Say I, who am a government employee.
Yes, green tea chocolate Kit Kats.
Oh yeah, that sounds delicious.
Lauren says that they sound disgusting.
That sounds delicious to me.
But I was like, have you ever had green tea cake?
Yeah, I know.
It's delicious.
It is.
It's like, I don't know.
Green tea's a good flavor.
No, it's not really. It's a real light flavor. But
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
when you put it with, sugary dessert, it tastes really good. It's kind of like a nice, tea, but not too strong, because green tea is pretty light on flavor. I've heard green tea Kit Kats are quite a delicacy, though, so hopefully those will show up. Japan is a bit further of a trip than Germany, because I feel like if it comes from Japan, it probably isn't being flown. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think the Germany candy probably can get flown.
Yeah.
So I feel like, the flight, a lot of mail goes across the Atlantic. I don't think a lot of mail goes across the Pacific in planes. Probably has to go in through a port.
Yeah.
I don't know how, Adam, how does that work?
How does customs for food
is a
work?
longshoreman getting his hand on my Kit Kats? Are there any stevedores up in there?
Probably.
Stevedores. What a great fucking word.
Yeah, your local stevedore.
That's
union.
right. I would love to be like
You would
that
not.
second season of The Wire.
You don't want to be a stevedore.
I would love to have that job
No, you
in
wouldn't.
that union.
That is hard backbreaking labor.
Hanging out all day,
Yeah.
not working,
Not getting
paid a little bit sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Like your girlfriend's like, when you gonna get a real job? And I'm like, get off my back. I'm a stevedore. Trust in the union.
I'm spending all my days in the bar drinking.
I know, right? But it's free if you're like a union member, because they're like, oh, we know. You don't got any work today. Here's a free shot and a beer on the house. But then like someone you'll get your legs crushed and they'll be like, here you go, and we'll take care of you, and then they just give you like a fucking packet of like hundreds, like $20,000. And it's like, okay, this is good. Don't tell your taxes. Let's see. What else has gone on? Let me go through. Adam, got something coming out next week.
Oh, yes.
Fallout 4.
Yes.
I would say by the time this episode comes out, it'll be out, but I think it'll be out like as this episode is becoming available. So,
Yeah.
so everyone will know, or will be deep in it. Adam, what's the scuttlebutt on this game? What have you heard?
I haven't heard too much other than it takes place mostly in the Boston area.
Yeah.
I've seen all the trailers and stuff. It
Yep.
looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the next Skyrim, except it's guns and wasteland. It's Fallout with its own kind of special sense of humor, and I love the different weapons like the laser rifles and
Yeah, I like
fucking
it, yeah.
mini nukes and shit.
Yes, I actually to get prepared for Fallout 4, I actually played a bunch of Fallout 3
Yeah.
on PC because I hadn't finished it, and I still
Yeah.
haven't finished it because I played probably about another 20 hours and then just kind of like, I don't know, moved on because other games came out. But man, Fallout 3 is even still pretty good. That really holds up. Other than the fact that the PC version still barely works.
Yeah.
Because this was back when it was like, hey, we're going to make console games. And it was a port to the PC, and it was not very good.
Yeah.
Did not work. And actually, if you download... It actually hard locks pretty much all the time now.
Yeah.
Unless you download the fan-created...
Mod fix.
it's like the official, unofficial patch.
Yeah.
That
Can
has...
you get it through Steam?
No.
Oh.
I mean, maybe, but I don't think Steamworks is available for Fallout 3.
Oh, okay.
So you just got to go to like some fucking mod website and sign up for
Yeah.
some bullshit. And then I found out that this like Fallout mod website I had a password for because I was like, oh, my username, it worked. And so yeah, I just got that, and it works smoothly. It's great. Like holy shit. Like and it's really fun. So yeah, so I guess the allure of Fallout is. Just like that combat system, just the whole Fallout like the RPG first person, kind of the way Skyrim is just really kind of awesome. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Those open world games you can just spend forever doing shit. In
Just
them.
yeah, hell. I mean, like I'm currently playing an open world game right now that I am deeply immersed in. And Adam, could you guess what open world game that is?
Is it still MGS5 or
It is
Witcher?
MGS5.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
game is so fucking spectacular.
I played a little bit more. I'm having a problem though because I keep trying to do the Word to the Bees sleep mission,
Yeah.
but it's so fucking long.
It's not that long.
I keep dying.
It is
And-
the absolute longest mission, though.
Is it? Okay.
Well, I mean, as far as I've gotten. And
Yeah.
I'm onto the second continent, and I'm like 20% through now.
I tried to do it twice, but then I have to do like other stuff, and I've had to stop the mission in the middle
You need
and
an
then have to
hour
start
and a
over
half.
again. You need you need a good hour and a half at
But
least.
you can save and quit in the middle of a mission.
But you still don't save any mission progress.
Yeah, you do. I thought you did.
No,
Oh man,
I know.
Are you
So
playing it on the PS4?
Yeah,
I thought you totally could. I feel like I've seen people do that.
maybe if they do, I don't know how.
Okay, well, either way, yeah, you need to just have an hour and a half to do that mission because
Yeah.
the problem with that mission is it's 2 long missions.
It is. Yeah.
Oh, there's a really long one after that too, actually. I'll give you a hint when you play that because you should play the game because it's fucking spectacular. But it just has a good treadmill of like getting stuff and then unlocking stuff and then doing stuff over again. It doesn't do a very good job of telling you some of the ways to make your gameplay better, I guess. Your
Yeah.
experience better. Like the fast travel with the boxes. Do you know how to do that?
Yeah.
I had no clue.
Oh, well, see, that is one thing. I can now. I did get one that puts me to a closer location. Mm-hmm. So I think I can skip a bunch of the beginning part of it now with a box location type thing.
Yeah.
But-
Well, the problem with that mission is you have to. Oh god, that's a mission where what is it? Starts off and you have to find a prisoner, right? Who knows something about where the bees are?
Yeah.
The honeybee is
Yeah.
the codename secret weapon. And then they're like, oh shit, and they throw him in the back of a truck, and the truck drives off, and you got to follow it, and you go through kind of a bridge base kind of thing.
Yeah.
Adam, you can not stealth in this game a lot.
You can not stealth as much as you would like to.
The nice thing about this game is that it's not like the old ones where if you get discovered and shoot a bunch of people, you're fucked. This one is you get discovered, shoot a bunch of people, run to a different area, and they can't find you, and then the alert goes away pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, a way to like get past places quickly, if you're working on looking at like getting through, and one thing too, in Metal Gear Solid 5, like one of the coolest things ever is Fultoning.
Oh yeah.
And that is basically when you attach like a backpack. This is crazy for people who've never heard of this game before or heard of this. You attach a backpack to an object or a person who's like knocked out or asleep. And the backpack explodes like an airbag with a giant balloon that lifts them up into the air hilariously and then rockets them up into the sky where they like basically are picked up by a plane and taken back to your base where they're like thrown in the brig and then, forced to join your army, or not forced to, but like they want to join you because you're so badass, basically.
Yeah.
And it's just like ridiculous. And also the Fultoning, Adam, don't focus on Fultoning too much early on.
Yeah.
Because at about the point where you get to the second continent, the level of the people, like the levels are way higher.
Way better.
Because like you'll scout people and you can see like what their skill levels are basically. And like, oh shit, that guy's got like an A. I want to Fulton him so I can have him at my base working on my research lab because he's got an A in research. Yeah, but like when you get to the second continent, there's tons of A+ people and A people.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so like it's a huge change. Like I've fired because you do some Donald Trump base management and you tell people they're fired and they leave your base because like I'll have people with like D's and E's across the board, and you just got to fire them because they don't fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I spent way too much time trying to collect everyone early on, and now they're all just completely useless as I get later into the game, and now it's a lot easier for me to collect people because I have more skills that make it easier to knock people out, basically. Yeah, but like for that bridge, and this is probably why the game is so cool, because you can replay areas and just go back to areas because they're so... I don't know how to describe this. They're so open in how you can finish a mission. It kind of feels like the way that like Grand Theft Auto 3 felt, I think, when that game first came out, of just the pure openness you had in the ways to complete missions, And so like if you went to that bridge, you could do like I did, which was stealth my way all the way through, and a sandstorm came through, and I used that to get across, and or you could drop some C4 on something and it'll explode and everyone will run over there, and then you could run behind them to get past, or you could just blow everything up. Well, I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
No, absolutely. It's just there's so many different ways to complete every single objective. It's nuts.
Yes, it is insanely nuts, and there's lots of different weapons, and another tip if you're playing that game, it really does you well to try out different weapons, because sometimes you feel like you have a good system going on, and then you switch up your loadout and you're like, man, how did I ever get by? I recently unlocked a tranquilizer dart sniper rifle, which is really good.
Oh, I wish I had one of those.
Yeah, well, once you get it, it's awesome. It is not silenced, but that doesn't tend to matter. Because if you're hitting people from far away with the sniper rifle, they just get kind of spooked, but they don't really see you, so they don't go into an alert phase. They just kind of spook around. And it's really fun to, like, shoot a sniper, tranquilizer dart into someone, and everyone, like, freak out, and people walk over to look at the guy, and then you trank them, and someone walks over to look at that, and you trank them, and it's just a big pile of people asleep that you just, throw balloons on, and they all flap into the sky. This is serious military action, Adam. Ballooning people, I love that game. Oh boy, but I tried the submachine gun. There's a Riot SMG which shoots rubber bullets.
Oh yeah.
I hated it when I tried it out the first time, and this second time I went through a mission, and it's really great.
Yeah.
It doesn't put people to sleep; it stuns them, which lasts a shorter amount of time.
Yeah.
But not that short.
I have like an assault rifle that does like stunning type.
Yeah,
bullet
exactly.
stuff.
Anything you can stun. is pretty great. But like I found that the Riot SMG, I was worried, didn't do great, but you get a headshot with one of those rubber bullets, people go out.
Yeah,
Same as the trank dart. The nice thing about trank dart is if you don't get the headshot, it'll take 10 to 15 seconds, and then they fall asleep.
Right.
Because the tranquilizer will slowly work its way through their, blood veins.
Right.
Yeah. So, but then I have recently unlocked the sniper Quiet as an ally.
Oh, cool.
Oh boy, changes the game entirely. So the way that her character works is a lot of the bases, basically all of the little mini checkpoints and bases, have been designed to have sniper points around them, kind of.
Yeah.
For her to perch on. So basically, what you do when you have Quiet is she follows you around, or you tell her to go scout an area ahead of you, and then when you show up there, everything will be marked, basically, which is really nice. I also have D-Dog, which marks things within a certain range of you, which is pretty cool. So you'll just be walking, and it'll be like, bing! Oh, there's the prisoner that I'm looking for, because he sniffed it out. Because he's a fucking dog who's awesome, and he has an eye patch. Adam, the dog with an eye patch.
Yep.
Fucking character of the year. No, but Quiet, Adam. She'll sit up in a sniper post, and you know how you're infiltrating a base, and you get the reflex mode, right?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Someone saw me. Boom, dead. She snipes them during the reflex time.
That's awesome.
If she has a line of sight, she'll kill them during the reflex time, and it's insane. So you'll be sneaking, you'll be like, oh shit, I missed a guy, and boom, dead. Out of nowhere. And it's fucking awesome. Kind of frustrating when you're trying to Fulton people, because you'll be like, oh, I got this guy who's got an A+ in engineering. Alright, let me sneak my way over to hear him. Oh shit, he saw me. Dead. I'm like, no!
Can't you give her different weapons, though, too?
You can, but the sniper... the tranquilizer dart version of her rifle,
yeah,
I think it costs, 20. You have to have a 20 bond level with her to get that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is, I think, the maximum.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because I've gotten a different situation. So she won't snipe people unless you tell them to, or if they get into reflex mode.
Okay.
But she is fucking a monster.
Yeah.
So let's just tell a story about the game. So I was infiltrating a base because now I've gotten so powerful with my equipment that I just am not afraid of ever just going into a base without scouting it, basically. Because I sent Quiet over as I was running towards it and told her to scout. And so everyone was marked, basically. And I went in and just, Riot SMG stunned people. But what I do is I go through and scan everyone that she has and determine the people that are that I want to keep, basically. This is like some creepy fucking serial killer shit going on here. Because I sneak around in the dark in this base, and I scan people with the abilities that I want, and then I mark them, because you can mark people with a tag on your iDroid, so they have a little marker above their head. The ones that you want. And I know they're the ones I want to keep, so I sneak around behind them and then grab them from behind and choke them out. And then send them into the sky. So basically, in this game, you're like a fucking horror monster. And you can actually hear the enemies, if they'll get into conversations dynamically, and they'll talk about, have you heard about this guy? He's called the Big Boss, and he went into an outpost last week, and nobody's heard from them since. And it's like, oh shit. So you're legitimately scary fucking badass in the game, and I love it because the controls are fucking perfect. The gameplay loop is just addictive as hell because you're just constantly unlocking stuff. And Adam, you remember Assassin's Creed Syndicate? No, Syndicate. Brotherhood.
Yes.
Where you get your assassins to go out on missions.
Yes.
That's in this game.
Awesome.
And they collect GMP materials, recruit new people. It's pretty awesome. It's like you just have crews going out doing missions and, coming back and collecting stuff and getting, upgrades for you.
Cool.
So basically you're out playing missions. And on your base, other people are doing missions for you. So, literally every second in the game is progression. Every single second, something is being accomplished.
Yeah.
Just kind of why it just feels so satisfying that you're just always busy. Something's always happening. And even going out and doing the side ops is just fun because it can, like, the AI is so fun to just, try and sneak around. And the core gameplay is just so tight, that just feels awesome. And I just, it's a masterpiece. It's probably one of the best games I've played in the last decade. I mean, it just feels right.
Yeah.
And Quiet is a scary badass lady who definitely is that person that tried to kill you at the start of the game. I did not realize this until I watched the start of the game over. You're in a hospital bed.
Yeah.
I'm not spoiling anything by saying you start in a hospital bed. If you've seen any trailers, you know this. And if you saw the end of Ground Zeroes, you know why you're in a hospital bed. But someone kind of appears and chokes a doctor to death that's working with you and a nurse, and then tries to kill you, and then some mysterious bandage man, which at the start of the game. Do you know anything about that, Adam?
No, not really.
All right. I have a theory about that. I have not finished the game. I'm 20% in, about 25 hours in, maybe 30 hours-ish. So I'm probably a good... I have to say I'm probably a quarter to a third through the game.
Yeah.
Maybe more. I don't really know. I've heard the game takes about 80 hours, right? If you're doing...
Something like that, yeah.
Maybe 60 to 80, depending on how diligent you are with doing extra stuff. And
Side
I've been doing a
stuff.
lot of extra stuff,
Yeah,
so...
yeah.
Probably more like 80 for me. So I'm probably getting close to the halfway point. And it's I don't really know what was going on in that first scene, because I thought, my first thought when you're in that hospital is because the guy who talks to you in the bandages has your voice.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Kiefer Sutherland. Sounds like Big Boss. I thought, because he kind of, you get into a car crash at the end of that scene and you wake up and he's not there anymore, I just assumed it's you. It's you hallucinating like a version of yourself, like walking you through getting out of the hospital safely. I just assume that's it because it's got your voice and you never see the face, So I just assume it's like, oh, you just, that was you getting up out of your coma.
Yeah,
you like a ghost version of yourself was guiding you through not getting murdered in this. Which, by the way, one of the craziest openings to a game ever.
Oh man, yeah, definitely.
Big hour-and-a-half mission. I will say this though, I think that is a one fault that you've said, is that the mission length is just completely variable.
Yeah.
Like, I did a mission in Africa where you're supposed to collect just a guy who knows something, like a guy who knows some information about something. It's like a prisoner rescue mission. 30 minutes, maybe even less than that. Like, just real. It felt like a side op. Like, I tailed a guy for a while. He walked past a bunch of hostages, which you can or can't save, and I saved all of them. Because it wasn't too hard. Because as they walked by, I just snuck up and choked the other guy that stayed behind to guard the guy. And you really, when you think about what you're doing in this game, is that you are a fucking like horror movie villain. Like, you just are a silent death killing stalker machine.
Yeah, totally.
And when you get Quiet, it's even more crazy because you have a guy going around knifing people, and then a fucking like crazy lady who just whistles all the time, sniping people from like a mile away. No one can stand a chance. So that mission that you're doing, the Honeybee mission's pretty long. There's like a special side op to meet Emmerich. Huey, as he is known, from Peace Walker and whatnot. That side op is like an hour-and-a-half mission.
Wow.
Yes. So, because what happens is you do the side op, complete it, and then it starts a mission. So it's a pretty big area to sneak through. With a lot of guys. And then I went back recently with Quiet just to get the requisition tab off the fast travel point that I had neglected to get before because I didn't know that existed. Yeah. And I just completely fucking face rolled through the entire thing in about 2 seconds with Quiet just sniping everybody. Because what you do, Adam, is that you sit there, with your gun pointed at someone, and then her sniper like laser will point at them, and then how you like click in the stick or hold left bumper, and then move the stick to like click to do buddy action, and one of the buddy actions for her is just kill.
Nice.
You just do that and boom, dead. And you go with the other guy, click, kill, boom, dead. And so you're just like basically pointing at people to die, and they die. It is awesome, and just fun. God damn, I could play that game forever. I played it all day today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully Fallout 4 has got that kind of open world fun in store.
Oh
for
yeah,
everybody.
and the fact that you can just take all the junk and stuff that you pick up in those games.
Yeah.
You can finally now take apart and use to build shit.
Oh, that's what's so great about Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
Is there's so many just little pieces of iron or biological
Plants,
materials
yeah.
just laying around, and every single bit of it's useful. So it always feels good when you find that stuff. Just all right, 2 more caches of this, and I'll have enough to get that upgrade that gives me more space in my base to fill up with support personnel.
Yeah.
I actually just unlocked sleep gas bomb.
Oh, nice.
For my support personnel, so you can basically call in airstrikes with your support team when you get them, and now they have sleep gas, so I can have them drop sleep gas on a base
Nice.
and knock everyone out. It's just crazy. It's just infinite possibilities in that game on how to do it, and that's what is awesome about the Fallout series, at least in the past, is that you can play those games however you want.
Oh yeah,
You
totally.
can do melee. You can do, just be a sniper, quiet, sneaking around guy. You can go in with grenade launchers, or chain guns or
Be
power
super
armor.
charismatic.
Yeah, you could talk your way through a lot of encounters rather than doing the actual combat. Or you could do what I did in Fallout 3 and quick save right before the conversation, and then just do it over and over again until your speech 32% gives you the correct answer. Yeah. Well, because I'm not going all the way through that fucking death base when I could just get a yes from a guy and move the story along.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can do that in Fallout. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little leery about there not being any sort of pre-release coverage. Everyone's been pretty silent. You heard about the embargo that they had for the game?
Oh,
correct?
I heard that they embargoed the embargo.
Yes, the embargo was embargoed. So an embargo is something that video game or movie reviewers have where it's okay, you can't post a review until this date and time. And for you agreeing to that, we're going to give you a pre-release copy of the game so you have time to write your review so it can come out, when the game comes out. So you'll get traffic. You know what I mean? It's basically, a little push and pull. We're going to give you a copy of the game ahead of time so you can get your review out on time so that people will read it. And as a thanks to us, you're going to agree not to say anything about the game until it comes out. So that's usually what happens. But in this case, they actually had an embargo about... I believe it was you couldn't talk about the game till Tuesday of next week.
Yeah.
Today or Friday
Right.
it was. On Friday you could say that you had the game, but you couldn't talk about it till Tuesday. It's what the fuck? Better than Nintendo though. Nintendo has been doing embargoes that say you can't talk about the game until after it comes out. A day after.
Which is
It's
crazy.
what? Which a lot of people won't agree with. They're no, we're not going to take it then. We're not going to get your pre-release copy if we can't talk about it until a day after it comes out. So I'm just been a little leery because they've been really locked down on that. And typically, a lot of times you'll see in games when people are worried about the game's reception, they will definitely have it you can't put a review out until after the game is available to purchase. Just to save pre-orders, basically. I'm not saying that that's the case with this company, because Bethesda's been pretty much locked down with all of their games in the past.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of pre-release footage that got streamed out by people that didn't follow the embargo. And a lot of people have been saying, hey, it looks kind of bad, the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This looks a lot like Skyrim. It didn't really upgrade.
I don't know. The stuff I've seen looks pretty good.
Yeah, I guess we'll see, though. You know what I mean? I haven't really watched any of the leaked footage in depth, but I guess everyone's saying that the size of the game is about the same as Fallout 3, which is a pretty big game.
Yeah.
Not Skyrim big, but pretty big. I guess we'll see. I am not pre-ordering that game. I'm trying to think of the last game I pre-ordered. Witcher 3.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered that because it
I
was
pre-ordered-
it was $5 off, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
And I could preload it, so I was like, sure, why not? Well,
Yeah.
pre-order it, preload it, because I believe before it came out, people were allowed to talk about how much they love that game.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, okay, well, everyone's saying it's great, so I'll pre-order it. And I did, and it's really great.
Yeah, I think I pre-ordered that and MGS4 and Fallout 4.
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, Fallout. Yeah, 5.
Guns of the Patriots came out in 2007.
Yes, it did.
8 years ago, Adam.
Yeah, I know.
How fucking crazy is that?
It's pretty crazy.
8 years for a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit, man. Metal Gear Solid, man. But it's a great sequel. And probably the last Metal Gear Solid game.
Probably.
What a way to go out.
At least in its current form.
So how have you been getting ready to Fallout?
I've been watching a friend of mine play a lot of Fallout New Vegas and some Oblivion, actually.
So you're not going to play?
Just Bethesda. I'm not gonna play. I don't think too much beforehand. I'm just gonna wait until I get Fallout 4 and play it.
Not going to play any New Vegas, huh? I'm just going to watch someone play?
Yeah, I watched a good amount of it. Got an idea for.
So you could fall asleep while someone was playing?
Totally. That's
Like
my
the
favorite thing to
plan?
do. Yeah.
And apparently it is.
Sleep while other people play games.
Yeah. I think that's something I wanted to talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that how crazy Let's Plays and game watching has become as like
It
a
has.
phenomenon.
I know a bunch of people who, like, my friend who I watched play the game,
Yep.
he does not like, he's not the same way. He's like, I don't like watching people play games.
Wow.
Yeah. Just
I
not
like
his thing.
watching people play parts of games.
Yeah.
I like watching people play multiplayer games.
Yeah.
But I can't really get into people playing single player games, like watching that.
I can.
I mean, I can if I'm in the room with that person and we're
Yeah.
having a time hanging out and chatting, but like watching YouTube videos of people playing through games is just weird. Like it's like obfuscating like a lazy pastime to make it even lazier.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna not do anything productive and play a video game. But what you're gonna do is you're not gonna do anything productive. You're not even going to play a game. You're just gonna watch someone play a game for you, which is crazy.
I don't know. I kind of like that sometimes. It's a little bit different in person because, especially because
you know you got feedback. You can be like, oh hey, check that out.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh cool. Well, we'll go in there.
It's almost
You
like
know?
playing the game as well. But
It's like co-piloting.
yeah.
That's different.
I mean, and also the person I'm playing with is a huge Bethesda fan, and they like know
Yeah.
a lot of the lore behind all the fucking
Well, that's pretty cool though.
Elder
So you
Scrolls
You
and
kind of a
Fallout
guided
stuff.
tour then.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's great. No, but like you know, people on YouTube just it's such a crazy phenomenon. Although to be fair, a lot of the popular YouTube people don't just play through single player games. You know, it's a lot of it's
yeah.
you know, cuts of action or you know, playing like a Minecraft but like on a server where they're, you know, trying to build a crazy thing, you know, that's much more than just, you know, playing through a story of a game. But there's still a lot of channels that are just like, here's my playthrough of Batman Arkham Asylum, you know, 50 episodes. Like, what the fuck? Like, who's watching that? How could anyone watch it? Especially when it's one person, not even like two people playing through the games. There's no back and forth dialogue. It's just like, all right, here we are. I'm going to attempt Joker, part 2 fight. Like, what the fuck? And it's got 20 million views. Crazy. It's, yeah, that's the world we live in. Although, it's kind of YouTube is weird. Like the fact that people make a living off of YouTube blows my mind, Adam. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a weird thing that's happening.
The craziest part about it, right, is that, like, you know, have you heard of YouTube Red that just happened?
Yeah. It's something that sounds like something I'd really like to do if it didn't cost so fucking much.
I have YouTube Red.
Do you? Like,
$8 a month. I pay.
I thought it was like 13 or something.
It is not. It's 10
Oh.
if you don't have the deal that I have,
which
is I got a Google Play Music subscription when it launched like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I locked in a $7.99 a month rate, and now that includes YouTube Red.
Oh, really?
So basically, my Google Music subscription, which I use and love, to it's like Spotify.
Yeah.
Is now upgraded to play YouTube videos without ads. So
maybe I'll have to go back to Google Music, because I was at Google Music and then I switched to Apple. I've been kind of digging that.
Apple does have a great selection of music.
They do.
That is probably the biggest ups on them for
It's
that.
super easy just to add like entire albums to your library. Really.
I mean,
easily.
same thing with Google Play Music.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that feature, and now I was thinking about getting rid of it, but now with the YouTube Red, I don't think I'm going to, because I have Amazon Prime Music, which is also really good.
It's all right. Their selection is much worse.
It is much worse, but I think that at least as far as Android goes, I think the player is a lot easier to navigate. Because a lot of times what I hate about the way that the Google Play Music works is you'll search for like an album and then it'll just show the stuff that you have as your music library that you've uploaded. And it's like, no, you have this. Like, I know this album is available for streaming, but I just don't have it on mine. You know what I mean? It's like, it's weird that Google search would be a problem with the Google Play Music. But
yeah, that's weird.
But so it brings up an interesting situation, because a lot of YouTubers were like, holy shit, we're going to not get the ad revenue. You know what I mean? And YouTube Red is only sharing half, 50% goes to Google, 50% goes to the channel of the Play or whatever it is. Whatever the ad revenue would have been, goes towards the Play subscription. I guess whatever algorithm that is. But basically, right, with the ads, I think it's 70-30. But with the Play YouTube Red, which is a weird choice for a name.
Yeah.
With RedTube's existence.
Yeah, definitely.
If you don't know what that is, don't look it up at work. But YouTube Red, yeah. So a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, this is crazy." PewDiePie actually had a pretty long blog post about this. Props to that guy, because he knows what the fuck he's talking about. And he said, when you look at this, I pulled all of my hundreds of thousands of people that are active and responding, and like 50% of them said they have an ad blocker on, which means I don't get any revenue because it won't play the ad. You know what I mean? So he's like, this guarantees revenue from a certain set of people. You know what I mean? And so it honestly doesn't change my, money I take home at all. Adam, but it just is crazy to me that people's revenue streams and livelihood and their bills that they pay each month is dependent on another company that they're not an employee of.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind. It's like YouTube could just say, oh, we're not going to let anyone do videos anymore, and you'd be fucking broke. Like that. And there's nothing you could do about it. Like, it's like this whole fucking industry is dependent on some third party. Like, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. YouTube could just be like, oh, we got too many copyright strikes. We're not going to let people stream video games. Game over. You know what I mean? For like hundreds and hundreds of people. It's just crazy. Like, I think that's scary, I guess, if you're because you used to watch the Nostalgia Critic, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have his stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because he got like copyright strikes from YouTube, and they like took him down. So he can't make money off YouTube. Wow. You know what I mean? And he built his own website with his own. I guess he hosts his videos on like Akamai or Amazon S3 or something.
Right.
Some web service hosting. And he makes his money off that because he can serve his own ads on his own website, It's just crazy. Like, it's just insane that you would have your content. Because I know, like, people, I have a friend who, Facebook friend with at least, who runs SpaceGameJunkie.com. and he does a lot of YouTube videos where he gets some revenue from, and he's trying to make a living off of. But he does so much more than just videos. I mean, he does a blog, podcast, all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But part of it is, YouTube revenue. And he's like, oh, I got a copyright strike on one of my videos. Like, that's fucking scary. One more, I'm done forever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I've talked about this. I can't monetize on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I have a Google ad services strike on my account from 2005, Adam.
Yeah.
Or not 2005, sorry. 2008, maybe. But over 5 years ago. And it just won't let me monetize on YouTube because it's owned by Google, and the ad services on YouTube are through the Google ad service. And I'll never be able to monetize, not unless I make videos that get hundreds of thousands of views, and then obviously they will let me monetize it. But right now I can't. And it's crazy because you're just like beholden to some fucking scary giant corporation entity that could take away your livelihood.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's just insane. I don't know. It just blows my mind that people can depend on that. Because like if I was making money off of YouTube in that kind of amount, I would be very just assuming every day that it would end. Basically, that YouTube would cut the cord somehow.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If you're a famous YouTube person, use some of your earnings instead of buying it. I forget who it was. Captain Sparkles. Did you hear about him?
I know of Captain Sparkles, but I didn't hear
he
anything
bought
about him.
a LA mansion that cost like $20 million or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, off YouTube money, which is insane. But also, maybe you should spend that $20 million on building a web platform to put your videos on, so you don't have to share your revenue with YouTube.
Yeah.
I would definitely do that first. I mean, of course, put everything on YouTube because it's going to get play there. But make your own website with your own, videos hosted that you get the money directly off the ads. So just in case YouTube's like, hey, we're done, you can still make money. I don't know. Sorry, I'm getting way into this, but it's just crazy to me as an adult to think that
it's a weird concept. Yeah.
To think that if I were to go into work every day, and just like, oh yeah, we're not going to pay you. Some crazy company says they're going to pay you, if you put your hours in. So let's hope that doesn't end. We can't say anything if they stop paying you.
Yeah.
But just keep working. Like, wow, crazy. Adam, The Walking Dead's awesome. Apparently,
It is. It really is.
How so?
It's just really cool. I mean, there's lots of... It's just a show where the characters have changed and continue to change so much over the course of the show.
Like, how so? Like, physically, emotionally?
Yes. To both.
Okay. Give an example.
Like... There'll be spoilers pretty much with any example.
Okay.
But... Like, the main character, Rick...
Yeah.
Throughout the series, I mean, he starts out as like this good guy,
Yeah.
sheriff guy, cop.
Sheriff of Nottingham,
Yep.
who is not a good guy.
No, he was
But
not.
we all thought he was a good guy when we elected him. He ran on a platform. I will not raise taxes. Read my lips.
The Prince John ticket.
And you gotta say, he raised taxes.
He did.
But not on the wealthy, on the poor.
No,
And then someone rose up.
indeed.
But Sheriff, what's his name? Rick
Yes.
Rickerson?
Rick Grimes.
Rick Grimes.
Yep.
What did he do?
Well, it's like as the series continues, you can see him slowly becoming like someone who doesn't take chances on people. Like,
Been burned one too many times?
a lot of the core group,
Is gone, right?
some of them are gone, but
Well,
there's like a core of like
Scattered
five
to the wind,
people.
basically.
No,
You know what I mean?
There's like 5 people though who have been around since pretty much the beginning that are still around.
Yeah.
And he will do like anything to protect them and his son, Carl
Yeah.
Papa.
What about his wife?
Didn't make it.
Spoiler, Adam. Come on.
That's what I was saying.
I don't give a fuck about spoilers. I'm one of those people that I don't really.
But
care.
I mean, that's the thing. That's one of the events that like majorly changes that.
Yeah.
Where he starts to realize like, I can't always be doing the good thing or the right thing and still protect everybody that I love, because the zombies are around, but just as bad or maybe even worse are the remaining people
Yeah.
who are doing whatever they can to survive. And there's like a point at which, I mean, it's just kind of interesting because like you see him, you know, become like a leader, and he's a pretty good, decent guy. Like at one point, they lose one of the children in their group, and they spend in the second season, like most of the second season, fucking them looking for this.
That is why I
girl.
stopped watching the show,
Yeah.
actually, because I was like, this is a terrible cliche, and I haven't seen the ending.
Yeah.
I've seen the first episode, and I know, I've not heard any spoilers, but I know that kid is a zombie. And that's what's going to happen, because this is the exact zombie movie cliche that wasn't part of the original comic books. You know what I mean? That like the original comics kind of poke fun at.
Maybe, but I mean, it's also
They put it in the show, though. Like, it's just weird to me.
I think it's well done in the show,
Okay.
at least in the larger picture of things. Like the season 2 is one of the weaker seasons.
Yeah.
But you're right. It comes across like towards the end of that season, they end up finding out that the person they've been searching for has been closer than they thought and is a zombie.
Yeah.
But that's kind of when people start realizing like, you know, we can't always be doing this kind of stuff. putting
Yeah, we
ourselves
wasted
at
all
risk.
this time.
Yes,
basically.
we wasted all these resources.
All
and
of the
time.
audience's time.
Yes, that too. But like not too long after that, they're kind of in a safe spot there, and then they get like overrun, and then they come to like this one place that they take over that's relatively safe, and you see like time go by, and Rick starts becoming like, and there's an older kind of guy there called Herschel who's cool, who's like a farmer type dude,
Yeah.
and he's like teaching Rick how to farm because they have this little area that's kind of like walled off. It's in a prison actually. They've got the yard, and they're turning the yard into, like, farmland, kind of. And you see Rick kind of, like, soften again, like, where he'd been kind of hard, and now he's, you know, learning how to farm, stuff like that. He's not carrying his gun around as much. And his son, who had started to become pretty badass, he's trying to get him to, like, you know, live in a way where he's not constantly in danger. But then later on in the series, like, they get attacked, and then you see these guys running away, and his son, Carl, was like a boy not much older than him. I mean, he's like a 12 or something like that, running away with a shotgun. And he holds him up and says, drop it. And the kid kind of looks like he's going to drop it, but fucking boom. Like,
Jesus.
yeah. And it's just like, growing up in the apocalypse as a kid is making him fucking insanely hard.
That's rough though.
And
you know what I mean?
but it's just this kind of this thing, and then eventually you see like, you know, you see Rick trying to prevent that, trying to like takes away his gun and like has him farm with him for a long time. But then like, you know, shit always happens. And you know, you just get to see these people like try to hold on to their humanity while everything around them goes to shit. And at a certain point, it's like them trying to find a balance between wanting to stay people, but also they're all survivors. They will survive. So I don't know. It's really cool. And it's just getting to the point now where you see a lot more of this stuff kind of come into contact where they're seeing, like it's almost zombies now. Zombies are still dangerous, but they're almost not like the main antagonists of the show anymore. They're, you know, they're often used as tools by bad guys or, you know, in other ways. They're almost like more of an obstacle now. And everybody in the show has become so fucking badass at murdering zombies. It's incredible. Like when there are like zombie scenes like that, people just fucking do amazing shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the budget's gone up. The special effects and the
Yeah,
the
that's kind of
choreography. Yeah.
something I actually heard about the second season and why the second season also was so weak. People were saying it was like, hey, we wanted more budget, but they didn't give it to us this year. Basically, is what happened in that second season. So they had to like cut the story scale down quite a bit. You know what I mean?
I can believe that because that season takes place almost all in the same location.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a whole lot of moving about and stuff, and there's some interesting episodes, and there's some cool characters that they gain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those shows. I did the same thing. I watched like the first season. I thought that's kind of cool. The second season came around. I was like, it was cool, but I don't really need to see any more of that. And then now everybody keeps saying, oh, it's gotten better. It's great. It's amazing. And having gone back and watched it, it's one of those things where, yeah, it does. It takes a little bit to find its ground, but man, oh man, like you really get invested in these people and these characters, and there's just insane shit that goes on in that world. And my brother loves it. I mean, I think he just has a thing for zombie type stuff, but it's like his probably favorite show. And I like it. It's one of my favorite ones that's on right now. To just, keep up on.
I am really, I don't know. I'm gonna have to get back into that show because
I would suggest it. Yeah, it's good.
You'd recommend?
I would.
Let's see here. All right. Well, we got to move on to another AMC show.
Okay.
Adam.
Yeah.
Preacher. Comic book series written by
Garth Ennis.
Garth Ennis. That was it? I think the 90s or 80s? When did that come out?
I think that was the 90s.
Oh, God, it was early 90s then.
Maybe.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna look this up because I don't want to. 95 to 2000. Okay. 5 years. 66 issue comic book series. More of a graphic novel, to be honest. The way that it's set up, it's not kind of. It is comic. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, so came out. Garth Ennis wrote. It's a story of Jesse Custer, preacher in a small Texas town of Annville. He gets possessed by a supernatural creature named Genesis, which is the infant product of a coupling of an angel and a demon. And he kind of flies to Earth and flattens his church and kills his entire congregation, but spares his life. And so he basically gives Jesse Custer the power of God.
The Word of God, yeah.
The Word of God, which basically he can use to let almost anyone do... But at least what appears to everyone that he uses the word of the God on will do exactly what he says.
Yeah, it's like a way that he can talk that whatever he says becomes true, pretty much.
Yes, basically. Yeah. It's kind of one of those all sorts of powers. It's like one of those just does everything. So he kind of journeys across the U.S. trying to find God, basically, it turns out has abandoned heaven when Genesis was born. So he's trying to find God. It's kind of similar to a little bit of like Supernatural and other kind of shows. Kind of deal
definitely
with like a war between heaven and hell kind of going on. So he's joined by his old girlfriend before he was a preacher, Tulip, and his hard-drinking Irish vampire pal named Cassidy. He's an amazingly awesome character.
He is a great character.
Just a vampire junkie with an Irish accent, basically. But yeah, they go all sorts of crazy journeys. They go, they meet Arseface, who's going to be in the show, apparently. They have mock-ups of the character. But to show you the darkness and just the dark seriousness and the humor that came from this show is the character of Arseface, who is a disfigured suicide attempt survivor. He's a kid who shot himself in the face with a shotgun trying to kill himself, who is basically brain damaged after that and is just kind of like a real dopey, friendly character, but he looks like a monster. And he becomes a rock star, like a punk rock star, because he's badass. He's real, and there's a lot of jokes around that. So that's the kind of characters that exist in this world. There's the Saint of Killers.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the best character ever written, I think. The Saint of Killers, I don't know how to get into that. He's an absolute favorite character. He's just a...
It's like the spirit of like war and death, kind of.
He's a guy who basically was I forget I forgot if he fought in the Civil War or something, but he was coming back home, and there was some crazy thing going on in town. He stopped to help these people, and like basically through the acts of the will of God, like a snowstorm came, and he couldn't get home in time, and his family was murdered, basically. Mm-hmm. And so he just basically his entire life is turned into revenge, basically.
Yeah.
And that's just he's cursed God, for taking away everything that he loved, even though he was being good. And he basically is still alive and walking around and is unkillable and has revolvers.
Saint of Killers is kind of like a position, I think. It's more than it is like a dude.
Yeah.
So I think he had been like dead or resting, and they woke him up to take care of.
He's not actually a position though, because he's not the Reaper or the Angel of Death. He is better than that. Actually, is what happens.
I think Saint of Killers is like a title or something like that, where it's like the worst dude around, like. People, if he were to be taken out by somebody else, maybe, I think. Mm-hmm.
He's the patron saint of murderers and assassination.
Yeah.
A Confederate army. I was totally right.
Mm-hmm.
Both respected and feared for being merciless on the battlefield. Made his living in the West, collecting native scalps and bounty hunting to rescue a young woman. She managed to break through to his gentler side. The two fall in love and have a daughter. His wife and child fall ill. He attempts to fetch medicine for them, but is delayed by a blizzard and a gang of outlaws, which results in his family's death. He slaughters much of the gang and kills an innocent hostage, but runs out of bullets before killing the leader, which leads to his death after being impaled in the chest with a shovel. Death takes him, and because of the innocent life he took, he's consigned to perdition. His own hatred and indignation over the injustice of his death. He was avenging his family, basically, because his hell to literally freeze over. In which causes the Angel of Death to offer him to return to Earth on the condition that he takes up the role of collecting souls.
Yeah.
So he's basically the Angel of Death's minion.
Yeah, kind of.
Who is far more powerful than him, is what happens near the end of the story.
Yeah.
Basically. But it's just kind of like an amazing character. Because he is... And he is a villain, kind of.
He's more like an anti-hero almost.
He's not, but he's like. But
he does terrible things all the time.
Yeah, well, but the thing is, I would call him like lawful neutral, maybe, or true
kind
neutral.
of, yeah.
Like he just is like, you deserve to die.
Yeah.
You're going to die, or you don't need to live, so I'm going to kill you.
He's kind of like the walking embodiment of like judgment.
Yes, he is. Yeah, exactly. Judgment with like no direction.
Yeah, no mercy.
He just judges.
Yes, exactly.
And murders. Yeah, but there's. I don't want to spoil the comic books for someone who hasn't read them, but there's an incredible moment in the deserts of Nevada in which he is a very large attempt by the American army is meant to eradicate him.
Yeah.
And he is immortal, so you can expect something interesting to happen when it happens. But the trailer for the AMC movie, and this must be just a teaser because it's very quiet, basically.
It is.
The trailer came out, and I was just like, this is weird.
I'm kind of in a weird position with this one because the show that they're premiering does not appear to be Preacher.
Yeah,
but it still looks interesting. I kind of want to watch it. I kind of want to see it. But
Adam, do you want to know who developed the series pilot?
Seth
Rogen and Evan Goldberg.
And yes, Evan Goldberg. I heard about that.
Yeah, but
it seems to take place like mostly in that town, like where he first.
At least in the pilot.
Yeah,
I mean, as much as we've seen from it, superhero hype reports the character of Tulip O'Hare will be an African American. Okay. That's fine though.
Yeah.
There's probably not enough diversity in that cast.
Not a big deal.
Definitely not.
I saw a brief shot of okay Cassidy at the end of the teaser.
Series has been ordered to a 10-episode season. We'll see, huh? I
mean, it could be good. I mean, if they go like the Game of Thrones-ish type route, then maybe.
the trailer was very not comic book like. Like
No.
nothing from that felt like the comic books. I mean, I was
No.
expecting, some scary, ominous music, a
Mm-hmm.
church exploding, to start the series, which is
Yeah.
how the comic book begins. But it's just like, oh, this just a preacher who's going to beat up people and drink. Like, okay, that's 10% of the comics, Like
Right.
most of it is the crazy
I think they're gonna
heaven versus hell storyline, which is
Yeah.
all in the background the whole time.
I think there's still going to be like some definite Word of God type stuff, some Genesis.
And,
stuff,
maybe
but
that's something that'll end at the first season.
maybe.
And then like they've got a plan where the the season's going to kind of
Yeah.
wrap up with him getting that, and like, hey, what's next season going to be like?
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't fucking know, dude.
I feel
Who knows
sort of-
though? It's a teaser. That's
Yeah.
the thing, though. It's like people were like, I don't know about that. I'm like, well, I can't. You can't tell anything from that trailer. I mean, literally,
Mm-hmm.
a little kid comes up to the preacher guy, and he's just like, hey, my dad is beating up my mom and stuff, and it's bad. And he's like, I heard you can take care of people like that.
Yeah.
He's like, well, maybe I will. And then he just goes and beats up a guy.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that seems kind of all right. And then, because, comic book nerds like to argue about every minute detail. And he had, I guess at the end of this bar fight, he snaps the guy's arm after he's beaten him up, basically,
Oh, yeah.
breaks his arm. And he was like, oh, that didn't seem like a Jesse Custer thing to do. And I was like, I don't know, man. He gets real violent sometimes. I mean, there's a point when the word gets in him real good. And a lot of stuff happens to a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of one of those things that's like, that to me, that felt like something his character would do. I mean, like, with his past and his family situation, I feel like if a young kid who was in a situation with abusive
Oh, yeah.
situation, he would be like, well, I got to stop that. Like, because I know where that leads, and that's the life I live,
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, if you haven't read the Preacher comic book series, like, it was one of those things everyone told me to read, I just kind of held off, basically,
Yeah.
Fucking do it. It is so incredibly good. Like, it's just great, It's a kind of a Western, supernatural, just explosions, gunfights, deep kind of psychological traumas, and
Oh, yeah, definitely.
fucked up bayou shit.
Oh, my God. That stuff is fucked up.
It gets a little crazy and over the
It
top a bit there
Definitely
with that storyline.
does.
I felt
Yeah.
it got a little too gross and grossness.
It's also, like, super irreverent when it gets to, like,
Yeah.
what's his name? I can't think of it.
Hmm?
He's like the last descendant of Jesus or something.
Oh yeah. It's a little gross in that kind of '90s
Yeah.
comics way. Like, reminded me a little bit of like Transmetropolitan stuff, where it's just like, we're gonna be real gross with this, just so that it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
AMC's done a really good job with the shows they've done. So
Definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think it's going to be like the comic, but I'm still want to.
I really, I mean, it has to be like the comic, though.
To a certain extent. I
The only
don't know.
But I mean, Seth Rogen and Goldberg, who wanted to do it because they're big fans of the comic,
Yeah,
it would seem that you would push real hard to make it a lot like the comic.
I'm just wondering if they just had to make too many agreements to get it on television at all. But I
Yeah,
don't know. We'll
maybe.
see.
But
Like,
I mean,
it's like
I mean, it's not like you've watched all of the Walking Dead. I mean, that's pretty hardcore.
yeah.
So I don't know. There's apparently the first season is already the Quincannon storyline. If you remember that, the Anvil Slaughterhouse storyline with the creepy old guy who ran the slaughterhouse. Remember that storyline?
Off the top of my head.
Remember, he's at the end. They find him in the warehouse with all
yeah.
the meat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
storyline that's kind of like right in the middle of all the action of heaven and
Yeah.
hell, and then they take a break to have a union busting storyline.
Right. That's weird.
That's apparently part of the first season because
Really?
Yeah, Elizabeth Perkins is playing Viola Quincannon, a genteel but formidable businesswoman who owns the local slaughterhouse. So I don't know if that character exists then, the crazy guy, because it looks like it's a woman now. I don't really know, honestly. It's just weird. It's just weird that they wouldn't just be like, let's do the comics.
Yeah.
It's a good story already. I don't know. You know what I mean? Or at least start. I mean, obviously they're going weird. You know what I mean? Because there's an Irish vampire.
Yeah, yeah.
that is clearly, from the trailer, going to be in the show. And that's not, simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, there's that pilot for Lucifer that came out.
Yeah.
For Fox. And that show seems pretty cool, too. But I've read, not all of it, but a decent amount at the beginning of the Lucifer comic, and it is nothing at all like it. At all. I mean, other than that the character of Lucifer is there, and he's, very arrogant, and they kind of got the feel for his character a bit. But, yeah, like, as far as plot and storyline goes, that has been completely ripped away.
Yeah.
But I still want to watch it. It looks cool, but it's not Lucifer. It's not the same thing that everybody fell in love with when they read the comic. So.
Do you know what's interesting is that HBO was going to do this in 2006.
That sounds like I think I'd be more comfortable with the HBO version.
Yeah, same here. Impressed with the pilot script that some, I guess, two writers had come up with over at HBO and write the series Bible for the whole first season. And their original plan was to turn each issue into a single episode on a shot-for-shot basis.
That would be awesome to me.
He said, I gave the HBO the comics and said, every issue is an hour. And Garth Ennis, who's the writer and creator, said, you don't have to be so beholden to the comic. And I'm like, no. It has to be the comic.
Yeah.
And by August 2008, I guess new studio executives have been hired after it just sat in development for 2 years, and they abandoned it, finding it too stylistically dark and religiously controversial.
Right.
Which I would agree with.
It is that, yeah.
Which is why I don't know what's going to happen with the show.
That's the thing. Like, that's one of the things that makes it so, like, weird and dark and cool. Will that still be...
it kind of rolls in those taboos.
Yeah.
Like, this is, a vampire who's, basically the opposite of good, and holy, and he's a preacher who, went to the faith, but, has been turned away. I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting dynamic. And
it is. Yeah. I hope they can still keep enough of those themes around.
Yeah.
To keep it still charming the way it is. But, yeah.
Well, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Let's get to one more thing before we finish up here.
Okay.
Let me push back some stuff. Just looking through our notes. Interesting. Adam Hammp.
Yeah.
Did you hear about Activision? And the purchase they made this week?
No. What did they purchase?
Do you not hear about this at all?
Maybe
you don't
not.
read any news.
No.
Huge news. Activision bought King. King Games.
I don't know who that is.
You do know who that is. Let's see here. Let me just read the press release. Santa Monica, California, and London Business Wire, Activision Blizzard Incorporated, and King Digital Entertainment today announced the signing of a definitive agreement under which a wholly owned subsidiary of Activision Blizzard will acquire all the outstanding shares of King for $18 in cash per share for a total value of, Adam, you want to guess how much money they bought King for?
$500 million. King,
I will tell you, is the maker of games like Candy Crush. The popular Candy Crush saga games.
Yes.
And whatnot. Adam, Star Wars was bought for $4 billion.
All right.
Do you want to know how much King was bought for?
How much?
$5.9 billion.
Oh my god. How does that even? Whoa.
Well, it's because King's publicly traded. Star Wars was owned by a private person.
Yeah.
By Lucas. So they bought each. So the people were flipping out, and they're like, "Oh my god, $6 billion!" And it's like, well, this is how companies buy each other. They know that the stock is like 16 and change, $15, $16, and they say, to all the shareholders of King, we're going to buy all of your stocks for $18 a share. So everyone's going to make a big profit, 26% over what the closing prices were. So this is just how it works. And that happened to be $6 billion, which is crazy. A crazy amount of money. And there's some crazy, interesting things that happen because of this, Adam Hamm, and why. So, be saying, Star Wars costs $4 billion, this costs $6 billion. That's crazy. You know what I mean? It's fucking Star Wars. Yeah. Star Wars doesn't make money, though. It isn't just a thing that prints money every day. Candy Crush, brings in, I can't remember what the figure was, but something like $1 billion a year in revenue, basically.
Damn.
From those games. So, but I mean, like every day, that is cash. You know what I mean? They're billing every day. Star Wars puts out movies and gets, cycles of merchandise and whatnot, but it isn't like a platform of money, like trucks of money rolling in every day. It's like, okay, we'll have every 2 or 3 years we'll have a big boatload of money piling in, but it's going to cost us a boatload of money. Where this is like, we just buy it once and it's just going to print money for us. You know what I mean? But it's not that only, actually, because there's some weird tax evasion stuff that happened with this too. So Activision had like $3 billion offshore from the U.S. and ABS Partners, which is owned by Activision Blizzard, and they're like, hey, if we bring this money back to the U.S., we're going to have to get it taxed. So let's buy King, which is owned in Ireland, with money from not the U.S. You know what I mean? So basically, they basically used their foreign money to spend $6 billion on this thing, which they would have lost like $1.5 billion in taxes anyway if they would have brought it back. You know what I mean? It was just basically like, rather than taking a hit on bringing our capital back to the U.S., let's just buy another foreign company with that money. So it's kind of like, people were like, I can't believe it, but it's like, in business-wise, it makes sense. Half that money was money they wanted to spend, and they were going to have to, if they didn't spend it outside the U.S., they would have to pay taxes on it. So it's going to be crazy. If you play any Candy Crush, I guess that's kind of what I wanted to talk about.
I played a little bit of it, I think, the free version.
Why did you stop?
Those kind of things don't really pull me in.
But what exactly stopped you from playing? Like, I can
honestly,
think of
more than anything else, I think it's just that I don't play mobile games that much. Like, even
fair enough.
When I had my 3DS and stuff like that, I don't carry it around. I usually just Angry Birds is about as intensive a game that I'll play when I'm bored.
Just read news.
I flip through Facebook.
I do play a good amount of phone games. My experience with Candy Crush is, it's just kind of one of those pay-to-win games. Yeah. Like, it's a real bad free-to-play game. Like, in the fact that, like, you'll play a bunch of levels, and then you'll get to a point where it starts getting really hard, unless you're buying upgrades. There's a Peggle mobile game. God, it was like Peggle Legends or something like that, or Peggle Saga or something they tried to do. And I like Peggle. There was a point where it started, the levels got so difficult to complete without buying premium upgrades that it was like, this is clearly meant to make you spend money.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't like a free-to-play game that does stuff like that.
No, that's just shady.
Like, a lot of times when I play phone games, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, I played, like, hundreds of hours of this, like, phone game, and I haven't paid a cent. Like, someone played, like, Clash of Clans, which I also can't get into. But, I tried to play Clash of Clans, but it was too hard. It was waiting too long to get upgrades without paying money. But if I play a game a lot on the phone, I'll spend money on stuff. You know what I mean? I usually am like, all right, well, I've played like probably 10, 15 hours of this, fun little phone game. I'll throw in $5. You know what I mean? $5-10. Because, that's about the price of my time, I think. Get a couple good items in it, That's kind of the way Fallout Shelter worked for me. They had like a sale over Labor Day weekend or something. And I was just like, I'll spend $10 and get like 50 lunch boxes, which I still haven't run out of. And I was like, yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed the game. It gave me actual like items of value that I didn't need, to play, but are fun to have. I don't know. Stuff like that really bothers me when games are built in such a way that it's like a blatant money-taking device. But it works. Right, Adam?
Mm-hmm.
When you're making $1 billion a year for fucking stealing money from people. I guess it works.
I would say so.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been playing a phone game too, but I think... Do you have to go, Adam?
Soon.
Okay. Well, I just... Because we're talking about phone games, I'm going to wrap up with my game that I've been playing, and we'll call it quits here.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the game of Knights of Pen and Paper?
Yes. I have it. I think I've seen it.
Yeah. Really?
I believe so.
It's a phone game.
I think that's the only way to get it.
It might not be, but it's basically kind of because it's not really free to play. Because I think I spent $5 on the game on the phone, but it's kind of like it's pixel art, and it's kind of like the idea is that you're going on this adventure in like some fantasy world, but it's all very tongue-in-cheek, referential to D&D. So like you're basically playing across the table, little pixel table from the DM. And then you have your party of guys that are like, oh, I have, the paladin, John, the business guy, and the mage, so-and-so, the nerd, and then, like, nerd gets, 50% less mana use and like that. And so you basically have all these people that build a character, and they sit at the table, and you kind of go around and do quests and level up abilities. But it's kind of turn-based RPG, and it's just really slick. Like, it's pretty funny. The level grind is actually pretty good for a phone game. You do a couple encounters. It takes you about 5-10 minutes, and then you save and quit. It has cloud saves, so you can switch devices. And I don't know how to describe it. It's just like when you get one of those RPGs that just has a really tight combat system that feels well balanced. Adam,
Yep.
you're asleep?
Slightly.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I was thinking of something.
What were you thinking of?
I don't know. I lost it.
All right. Adam?
I was fading out. Sorry.
Adam.
Yes.
I thought you were going to be not low key.
No, I am. I'm pretty high key, actually.
You're high key?
I am.
I think it's
all the
haiku,
keys.
Adam.
Haiku?
Hey-o. No, but Knights of Pen and Paper. Apparently they put a sequel out recently, but I'd highly recommend that phone game. For someone who likes tabletop games.
I don't know if that's the game that I was talking about or not. The more you described it, the less I think it was what I thought it was.
What I'm saying is it's got a pretty generic name that I think I think that genre has kind of come through. Let's be a tabletop simulator game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of what this is, but... I don't know, it's just fun. The dialogue's all right. At one point, you fight another party of people at a different table. It's kind of interesting. I don't know. It's real fun.
Cool.
It pokes fun at itself. It's got a real good loot system, and you're just building money and upgrading your guys and their equipment, and it's just kind of one of those good treadmill of game experience that doesn't feel too rough. You can play in 5 to 10 minute chunks. And that's a good phone game, not Candy Crush. I don't know. I think that's going to do it, Adam.
Yeah.
I know you got to get back to your family.
Yep.
Back
and
to
then
life.
Soon to bed.
Back to reality. And you got work tomorrow,
I do. I do have work tomorrow quite early.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. We will catch you guys next week.
Yes.
What's the website that people can find us at?
It is borninthE80s.net.
That's right, and I post links and stuff for each episode, a little funny image that may or may not have Adam's face on it.
Yep.
And you can subscribe on iTunes or soon Google Play Podcasts whenever they have that. I know that all of our podcasts are uploaded to their service now, so as soon as Google Play starts allowing you to subscribe to podcasts through them, you can get us through there. And please give us ratings there if you've already done the iTunes ones. Yeah. So that'll help us get visibility. And I want to thank everyone for listening. And if you do want to give us a chat, you can go to the website or the Facebook page and leave a comment. Or send us an email at bitecast@gmail.com.
Yes.
And I want people to email in with the worst situation that they've fallen asleep through. Like, what's the worst situation that you were caught asleep in? I know mine.
I don't know mine.
I will talk about it next week.
Okay.
And I'm going to have to save... I'm going to have to type it now so I don't forget about it in our little document.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. But I'll talk about that one next week. All right.
Cool.
All right. Well, get to bed. Have a good week.
Yes, you too.
Talk to you later.
Adios.
Adios. Assist last week.
Assist?
You jag off.
What assist?
You didn't fucking tell me that my audio quality dropped.
Did it?
Yeah, dude. When I got disconnected, even though the fucking Hangout didn't close, it changed my audio quality.
Oh, I didn't notice, actually.
It's because you're fucking deaf.
Maybe.
I like how you don't even deny it. You're just like, yeah, maybe. That could be true. I don't want to commit to one or the other. As far as those go. Let me just check some levels before we get rip-roaring here.
Just as a FYI, we have until 11 o'clock. I've managed to secure that much time.
Why just till 11?
Because my
sister... You mean 10:50?
No, I mean 11.
Okay.
My sister and her boyfriend are down visiting, and Ryan and stuff. They're at my mom's right now.
Okay.
They'll be there till 11.
Yeah.
Isaiah's an indicator at the moment.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Well, all right. How's life?
Good. Life is good.
I see you were asleep.
See, I was asleep. Yeah, on Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah.
You fell asleep and you don't have a lock on your phone, I see.
No, I actually do. I might have given Isaiah the code. I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure he's the one who fucking... Yeah. Posted me on Facebook. Actually, you know what it probably was? I have my computer up on the thing.
Yep.
Although, there was the picture. So
Yeah, how would the picture...
Yeah. I guess he had to use my phone. Bastard.
Wow. It's good security.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's get rip roaring here.
All right.
What episode number is it, Adam?
192?
Yes, you're correct.
Didn't even look.
Wow. You just really know what's going on.
I'll say.
Dun-dun-dun-dun. 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 What was the let's see here. Do you know what you want to chat about?
There were some things that we talked about.
There were some things that we talked about.
You wanted to talk about the Preacher.
The Preacher trailer that you saw.
Other than that, I haven't seen I saw Half Baked for the first time.
Wow. You're about 20 years too old to enjoy the jokes in that.
I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I guess. There's some funny parts. What's his name? Harland Williams, and it's really good.
Harland Williams.
I don't
There's
know,
not enough stuff.
Yeah, you never can tell with people like that.
Yeah.
Did he choose not to be in more stuff, or is he just one of those guys who's like really weird and nobody wants to work with them? But anyway, let us get started.